While companies like Zomato and Zerodha took over 10 years to cross 1,000 crores in revenue, there's another e-commerce brand that achieved 1,000 crores of revenue in just 6 months.
Backed by one of India's oldest and largest companies, a new player has emerged. TMRW House of Brands. The TMRW House of Brands was founded in 2022 as a venture of the Aditya Birla Group. And TMRW is set to build one of India's largest portfolio of brands in the fashion and lifestyle space. They're trying to capture a significant share of the direct-to-consumer or D2C market, which is projected to become a $100 billion industry by 2025. The TMRW Brands is growing at a rapid pace. After acquiring 8 digital-first lifestyle brands, they achieved a revenue run rate of over 700 crores and is on the path to achieving 1,500 crores by the end of this year. You see, they have a very unique business model, which involves acquiring and scaling high-potential D2C brands. They basically buy majority stakes in other D2C brands and provide these brands with the capital and technology they need to enable them to grow really fast. Now, TMRW is building a large portfolio of companies, including popular brands like Wrogn, Bewakoof, the Indian Garage Co, Nobero, and Vierdo. Now, you might be wondering, why do they even need so many brands? Why can't they just create one brand like Reliance and just create multiple segments under it, like Reliance Jio, Reliance Digital, Reliance Trends, right? Well, that's because of the new consumer trend that has started in India. You see, consumers are willing to pay a premium for a specialized brand over a generalized brand. Which is why we've been seeing a lot of these new age brands like Mokobara, who just focus on selling backpacks, or Salt, who just focus on selling toothbrush and toothpaste, or even Blue Orange, who just focus on one fashion segment, that is streetwear. Now, the TMRW House of Brands is an e-commerce roll-up company, and they've cracked something super unique in India's e-commerce market that you must know of. This model is so effective that it's being used to disrupt other sectors too. Take Rebel Foods, for example, which is applying the House of Brands strategy to the food industry. Instead of having a single restaurant, Rebel Foods operates a network of cloud kitchens, and from just one of these kitchens, they run multiple food brands. So you can order a wrap from Fasos, a biryani from Behrouz Biryani, or a pizza from Oven Story, and all of these will be coming from the same kitchen. This allows Rebel Foods to cut down their costs and serve multiple customers' cravings. What is the secret here? Why even have so many brands? And what market insights has TMRW cracked? The first insight, the Thrasio model. But let's come back to the real question here. What does TMRW, which is the parent company, really do? You see, every company in the market basically has 2 stages in its life cycle. The 0 to 1 stage, which mainly involves the creation of a new product or even a new brand. And then there's the 1 to N stage of the company, which involves expansion, becoming profitable, scaling, efficiency, and so on. Now, TMRW is a company which is a house of brands, but they don't build each brand from 0 to 1. Instead, they acquire promising brands and take them from 1 to N. Now, TMRW has followed the Thrasio business model. But what is this Thrasio model? Thrasio is a US company started by these 2 guys in 2018 when they noticed a shocking trend on Amazon. And that is the rise of third-party sellers. See, Amazon has 2 types of sellers. First-party sellers or vendors, these are the big brands like Nike, Puma, Adidas. They directly sell on Amazon. And they have the third-party sellers. When it comes to first-party sellers, Amazon only invites a few of the biggest brands onto their platform, as they're sure of the frequency and reputation of these sellers. For the third-party sellers, who are mostly small businesses, the businesses sell their product directly to customers on Amazon, where Amazon being the marketplace. Recently, Amazon has made the logistics part easier through their service of fulfillment by Amazon, which takes care of the deliveries as well. So Thrasio, this US company we were talking about, noticed something very interesting. They realized that the number of third-party sellers on Amazon was skyrocketing, going from just 26% in 2007 to a whopping 61% in 2025. That's almost a majority of sellers on Amazon. The competition among these third-party sellers was getting intense. Many of these brands would hit a certain revenue threshold, but then they would get stuck. They couldn't seem to grow beyond this point. To expand their business, these brands had 2 options. 1, take on debt. Number 2, they could raise funds. But both of these options weren't always feasible. So, Thrasio would step in and buy these brands, and they would take care of fixing everything for the brand. They would look at the product portfolio, packaging, online strategy, performance marketing, and even the supply chain. Using these strategies, they managed to increase sales significantly for many of these brands, and now have over 200 brands under them at this point. So they managed to get valued at a whopping $10 billion and even got funding from these guys. The whole idea of buying a bunch of brands or companies and putting them all under one roof is called the roll-up model. Thrasio was the one who made it popular in the world of e-commerce. And that's where companies like Mensa Brands and Tomorrow got their inspiration from. This roll-up model has proved successful for so many companies before this. In fact, Tomorrow's parent company, Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail, has mastered a similar model, but in the offline world. For decades, Madura has built an offline powerhouse of some of the most iconic apparel brands like Louis Philippe, Van Heusen, Alan Solly, and Peter England. And they did this by acquiring and growing these brands. If you observe closely, you'll find that all of the Madura fashion brand stores are always together. You'll find an Alan Solly store right next to a Van Heusen store or a Peter England store. They created one of India's biggest offline house of brands long before all this e-commerce wave. If you are interested in understanding how Aditya Birla was able to do this, then we've made an entire video breaking down their business model. Definitely go check it out. Now coming back, Tomorrow Brands is essentially taking the exact same strategy and applying it to the online world. This brings us to the second insight, the legacy advantage. See, what makes Tomorrow uniquely powerful is its backing by Aditya Birla Group. The venture is led by CEO and co-founder Prashant Aluru, a former Facebook and Bain executive, and is a household under Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail Limited, which has decades of experience building some of India's biggest lifestyle brands like Louis Philippe, Van Heusen, and Peter England, like we just discussed. This gives Tomorrow access to a big range of capabilities. Sourcing becomes easier, designing becomes easier, and they even cut down on wastage. Coming to the second point here. So in terms of consumption, we are the 5th biggest market in the world. And guess what? We are expected to jump to the 3rd spot by 2026. That's right. India's private consumption is huge, accounting for almost 60% of our entire GDP. That's almost double what it is for a country like China. We are a country where private consumption is kind of the driving force behind our economy. But what exactly is private consumption? It's basically the money people spend on essentials like food, house, clothing, healthcare, and even leisure activities. It's important to know that while growing consumption was a major tailwind for businesses, India's internet boom also helped massively. Our internet penetration has skyrocketed in recent years. In fact, we now have more internet users in rural India than in urban India. This shift took some time to happen, but it's been a game changer, especially for the e-commerce market. In fact, this is what made it possible for online-first brands like Mamaearth, Boat, Lenskart, and many others to even exist. What people don't realize is that this is just the beginning, because some of the biggest categories like clothes, personal care, and food are mostly unbranded. For instance, in the food sector, half of the market is unorganized. And in the clothing industry, a whopping 65% of the market is completely unorganized. As businesses become more organized and consumers spend more, India will see a rise in brand-based purchases. Tomorrow is trying to capitalize on this by building a portfolio of several highly popular brands over the next decade. They've realized that the market actually allows multiple winners. In fact, especially in such crowded markets like fashion, the market prefers more brands than just one or two monopolies. This brings us to the third insight, the technology playbook. While the roll-up model is the foundation, Tomorrow's approach is heavily tech-driven. Co-founder and CEO Prashant Aluru has stated that they are investing heavily in technology and data science across the entire fashion value chain. This includes everything from spotting new trends and predicting the demand accurately to even launching products by quickly adapting to these trends. They are trying to take a more data-driven approach than just relying on intuition. Tomorrow helps its partner brands with expertise in e-commerce, digital marketing on platforms like Facebook and Instagram, and even operational support from a team of professionals hailing from companies like Meta, Flipkart, and Myntra. This has been the key to their strategy of scaling so many brands. Although it looks like they're completely focused in the online world right now, they're also planning on playing the offline game with most of these brands. Since they already have over 3,400 stores and 28,000 multi-brand outlets under Aditya Birla's fashion network, Tomorrow's brands can easily enter the offline world in no time. And this brings us to the last insight, or the fourth unique strategy, which is the House of Brands strategy. Tomorrow Brands is not just trying to acquire more and more companies. Instead, they're trying to build a portfolio of over 30 brands in the next 3 years. They only partner with founders who are willing to stay on the long run, typically for 5 to 6 years, to build something bigger. The focus is on creating memorable brands that consumers love. They do this by not only providing capital, but also by giving founders access to their powerful ecosystem, which is designed to be a force multiplier for growth. This ecosystem is built on 5 key pillars. First is value chain mastery, by giving a lot of these brands the access to Aditya Birla's group's expertise in design, sourcing, and manufacturing. Second is cross-channel expertise, helping brands scale across marketplaces their own D2C websites, and eventually offline stores. In fact, we are already seeing this in action after they partnered with retail platform Lightstore to launch physical outlets for their brands like Wrogn and Bewakoof. Third, they provide intelligent technology and data science to identify new trends to manage their operations. Fourth, they offer deep consumer insights. And finally, they plug brands into a powerful e-commerce network of platforms and agencies to boost their digital marketing and online presence. It's a support system designed to turn promising startups into giant brands. Now, this includes everything from celebrity partnerships, like Wrogn's collaboration with Virat Kohli, to tapping into cultural and trendy moments, as they did with Bewakoof's campaign to celebrate ISRO's Chandrayaan mission. Any of the big brands you see have always created their own product category. In fact, if you're starting a business in a hyper-competitive market like fashion or lifestyle, then you can't really differentiate your product. All the products are almost the same. Then the best option is for you to create a new product category itself, and maybe you can call it perfect fit instead of oversized, or casual athletics instead of athleisure. Even the Tomorrow House of Brands is doing the same by trademarking terms like fashionisure for its brand Nobero. Tomorrow is also working to create unique identities for each brand in its portfolio. And this multi-brand strategy can be seen in multiple industries. Like you've heard of Oppo, Vivo, OnePlus, Realme, right? Well, they're all sub-brands of the same company, BBK Electronics. But why do they have to make so many sub-brands? Why can't they just make one brand like Apple? Well, the answer to that is one word: positioning. You see, by having multiple brands, they get a bigger chunk of the market share. For example, with one brand, they can focus on just students, while with another brand, they can just focus on working professionals. And they can even price the products according to this positioning. But the inverse of this isn't true. A single brand can't cater to all the market segments. And when they do try to do it, they end up diluting their positioning. Which is why Apple never really makes cheap phones. They easily can, but they won't. Which is why even the brand Nothing Phone created a sub-brand called CMF to launch their low-priced phones. And all of the brands of these companies also get benefited from scale. Now, this benefit of economies of scale also applies to talent. They already have a team of experts working on specific functions for multiple brands at the same time. For example, a single performance marketing team that is obsessively working on performance marketing for all of these brands, and a single quality team that does quality checks for all of these brands. All these things we have talked about so far make Tomorrow a powerful house of brands that is set to become a major force in India's e-commerce space. So, these were the main insights that made Tomorrow a very unique startup story. If you like this video, do let us know in the comments below, and we'll make more such videos soon. Also, smash the subscribe button because, well, subscribing is free and you can always unsubscribe later if you want. Until next time, bye-bye.